welcome to Watch Symposium. I'm Austin. All right, so it's my last full day here in Kyushu, heading back to Tokyo tomorrow with the family, and here I am in the city of Fukuoka. Let's check out what kind of pre-owned pieces we can find. Maybe hit a few ADs as well. Interesting minimalist clock over there in the distance. That's a suit shop, by the way. All right, guys, I'm in Parco, and I was headed to the third floor to Quark, and it's moved. Now it is in the Chikagai, which is like an underground shopping area that you have to go through to get to the subway here. So let's make our way through the Chikagai to the new Quark. Gotta go down this way. Here's a first generation Explorer 2 from 1980. Next to it, a nicely patinaed no-date sub that's 49 years old. The 5513 was produced for 20 years from 1958 to 1978. Here's another one. This is a head-only, a little later version. Produced around the same time, the date version, the 1680, starting in the late 60s, was the first of the date Submariners. This is a Tritium GMT Master 2 from 1996. This is the same year as my no-date sub, and it looks like it's getting some nice patina. A Submariner Kermit from 2004 without the engraved rehaut. And after that is another Tritium Coke GMT Master 2. Both these GMTs have their original hands, which is nice. And a shot of the side, you can see those lug holes, all except for that Kermit, which is from 2004. They stopped drilling lug holes in 2002 during the Y serials. On the right, you've got a head-only 16750. They made that from 1981 till 1988. Nice even patina on the dial and the hands, but that bezel insert looks pretty new. You got to wonder if that's a replacement. My guess would be yes. This is its predecessor, 1675. They made that from 1959 until 1980. A couple of date justs and an interesting watch on the left. I wish I'd gotten a little bit better footage of that. All right, moving on to more neo-vintage stuff. This is a Z serial from 2006. No, 2007. I took a look at that watch. I'll tell you why later. Right there, that's a modern ceramic Pepsi. This is listed as pre-owned versus new. I think for about 500 USD more, you could get a new Pepsi. 2 discontinued Batmans and an all black. And can't forget about that two-tone, which is a bargain compared to the Batmans. The two prices have to do with the warranty, 5 years versus 3 years. A couple of pre-owned James Camerons, the one on the right being about 1,000 USD more because it's 2 years newer. And a couple of Sea Dwellers. On the right here is a 43mm ceramic Sea Dweller with the red script. To his left, its 40mm predecessor, Sea Dweller, box and papers, pre-ceramic of course. Just like that Kermit, it's an F serial from 2004, so no lug holes. A couple of Hulks and another Kermit on the left. That Kermit is an M serial from 2008, so it's got the engraved rehaut. It's a more modern version than the one we saw earlier in the case with the vintage pieces. And a couple of ceramic two-tone subs, exactly the same price. You'd think the Bluesy would be a little bit more expensive, but no. Starting from the left, you have a pre-ceramic date sub and then a ceramic date sub, and to the right of that, a random serial pre-ceramic date sub. And these two are ceramic subs, as is this unused one in the box. A couple of pre-ceramic GMT Master 2s. This Pepsi is from 99. It's an A serial. It's got a Swiss-only dial and hollow-in links to its left. A P serial made a year later in 2000 with a Swiss-made dial and solid-in links, both holes cases. And then a couple Milgaus's, non-GV glass on the right and GV glass on the left, both black dial. Yachtmaster 16622 with the platinum dial, and to the left a more modern 6-digit rhodium dialed, light blue accented Yachtmaster. And I like the Rolex Schwag as much as the watches. You have a couple of cases there. That's a passport case. I think I got one of those for like maybe $50 off the internet. And look at that red guarantee wallet. Look at the price on that. You guys remember what I got mine for just last week in Nakano? If not, we'll do a comparison in a minute. But I will give them this. All of this stuff is really minty. When I told the guy I wanted all three of them, he had this kind of oh shit look. I think he realized he had underpriced them. And some links. Not sure if the price is per link or for each set. All right, here I am checking out that pre-ceramic GMT Master 2 we saw earlier, that Z serial from 2007. And the reason I'm checking it out is because that was the same year they started putting the 3186 movement in the GMT Master 2s, the late Z serials and the M serials. But it was priced like a 3185 movement GMT Master 2, and sure enough it was. I did the wiggle test. And speaking of 2007 early Z serials, here's one. This is an Explorer 2, and no engraved rehaut 3185 movement, unlike this. An unused V serial. V serials came out 2008, 2009, despite what that tag says. And you got the 3186 movement in there and the engraved rehaut. A modern Air King and a couple of modern Explorer 2s. 500 USD more for the Polar. A couple of 36mm Explorers, the one on the left with papers, the one on the right with the plastic warranty card. 3 Explorer 39s with the Mark I dial, all exactly the same price. That one on the right, a modern 39mm Explorer. Go ahead and try to guess the price of this matte-dialed Zenith Daytona. I'd love to know where they got this watch and how much they paid for it. I mean, did some poor old Japanese guy walk in and get offered $5,000 for his, quote, crappy old Daytona? Who knows? I guess that stuff happens. The two on the right are not for sale. All of these Daytonas are with the Zenith movement. You can tell because of the subdials. They're closer together, and the running seconds are at the 9 o'clock subdial instead of the 6 o'clock subdial. Also, the 9 o'clock and the 3 o'clock subdial, the centers of those subdials are horizontal with the exact middle of the watch where the hands join. These are the watches in the front window display. That's a ceramic Pepsi, ceramic Batgirl, the discontinued Batman, and look at that brand new all black discontinued GMT Master 2 ceramic. Do you guys remember the price of that watch in Nakano? These are both new pieces. That's a price difference of 2,500 USD. Yet you can see from that little red tag, they're in negotiations with somebody over this watch. Dude, take a plane trip to Nakano. Some modern steel ceramic Daytonas. I think that's a platinum Daytona on the right, two-tone on the left, and all the way to the left, another two-tone, I believe. And a black deep sea, one of the few watches I've actually found in an AD. Found this one in Thailand. All right, so I noticed that that A serial had been polished before I even checked the movement. And so, you know, actually it was kind of awkward because it had been polished, but there were still marks on the bracelet. You know, if you're gonna get a polish, hopefully the piece comes out perfect looking. But if there are dings that are so prominent that even a polish can't get it out, then it's kind of doubly bad because it's a polished piece now, but it's still not perfect. But anyway, right when I saw that it had been polished, I thought to myself, okay, what are you gonna do if this is a 3186 movement GMT? Are you gonna get it or not? Because it's a polished piece. You know how you feel about polished pieces. Well, I would have gotten it because at that price, a 3186 movement GMT would still be a deal. I would have taken it to RSC, get them to give it a good RSC polish, and just enjoy the fact that I would have gotten a Z serial 3186 movement GMT for, you know, less than 14 instead of north of 20,000. So, but surprise, surprise, not a surprise. They knew what they had. It was a 3185 movement. If it was a 3186 movement, a company like Cork totally would have known. All right, some more Rolex goods, a little bit cheaper here. These are the pouches you get from RSC here in Japan when you have your Rolex serviced. Some guarantee wallets right there. And to the left, you'll see a plastic service case. That's what you get for small jobs. 36 millimeter date just with a smooth bezel on an Oyster bracelet. That's an A serial from 1999. This is a modern Oyster perpetual date. It's a 34 millimeter watch, Oyster bracelet, smooth bezel, beautiful black dial. A bit small. I could probably pull it off, but I don't think I would. A date just 41 with an Oyster bracelet and fluted bezel. And lastly, a 36 millimeter yellow gold day date with a champagne diamond dial. This was it. Just these 4 watches were the only men's watches, men's Rolexes in the store. They did have some other things we'll look at in a second. Some Rolex booklets and some papers, some old papers, but no watch. Wouldn't it be cool to have a watch and find your papers? I've checked. My papers weren't there. And yeah, these were all in Japanese. So these were some other watches. A High Beat Grand Seiko GMT. This is a really cool watch. And yeah, I mean, the High Beats are great. The GMTs are great. On the right, that's an automatic, not a High Beat, just a regular automatic. What can I say about it? I mean, that's pretty sterile. But maybe that's a good thing. And a quartz piece taking away. I bet I can instantly make you appreciate these boring watches. All right, did I do it? Yeah, we long for a nice, sterile, tasteful Grand Seiko. Look, I'm a Stones fan, but yeah, no. The one tutor they had in the shop, I don't even know what this is, but it's the wrong color for me. And I don't know if that's PVD or ceramic, but I'm not keen on that. I'm trying to get a shot of the thickness because I know it's there. And an IWC ticking. I don't often feature these on my channel, but you know, just a nice, tasteful IWC. Here's a limited edition Speedmaster of some sort. And I got to say, I kind of like the colors. It's refreshing, kind of neat and bright. And there's like a medallion in the back. Put that on a chain, wear it. 4 more Speedmasters. Now, which one caught my eye? Well, because of the price, it was this one. I mean, look at that price. That's like a impulse buy right there compared to a Rolex. And beautiful blue dial. Here's a shot of all 4. Let's focus in on that blue dialed. What is that, a triple date? I mean, just the functions are packed into this watch. And yeah, cool blue dial. Really nice, really nice. I thought this was a great price. I probably could see myself buying this watch, but thanks to the internet, I found one that was like $400 cheaper. So, but talk about bang for buck. I mean, why is this thing so cheap? I'm tempted. Should I get this, guys?
Fuck me, dead.
Now, this should be a watch that's familiar to you guys. Box, no papers, no leather wallet, but look at the price. Smaller price, their price, bigger price, retail. All right, so here's an Omega GMT. Pretty good looking watch, a little bit beat up. The bezel action was not so great. There was rollback, and I'm sure a service would put it right, but I was kind of surprised at how bad the bezel action was. Pretty thick watch. Here I compare it to the Explorer 2. Now, side by side, they don't look so different, but the Omega was noticeably thicker. It wore thicker, if nothing else. But still a pretty decent watch, and Not very expensive as far as a GMT automatic dive watch. You can see the price coming up. Take a guess. What do you think? All right, that's about $2,500 USD. No box, no papers. Needs a service, kind of beaten up. I don't know if it's such a great price. Fit me perfectly. Absolutely perfectly. This is actually a Jerry Lopez Omega. You can see the Hawaiian Islands and some hibiscus flowers. He's a surfer. All right, now talk about a contrasty watch. Check this out. And a thick watch. 600 meters water resistant. But man, look at the thickness on that watch. Hey, I guess some people like it. But it's a GMT. It's a GMT diver. And yeah, I mean, it's a kind of good looking dial, but it's just, there's too much contrast there for me. Love the display case back. That's always cool to see. Don't know if it's fitting for a dive watch, but yeah, it's all right. It's got the helium escape valve. Looks great from this angle. Maybe a little bit big, but you can see what a tank it is. Now, it's not what I would call a good deal. You'll see the price in a second, but certainly better than paying retail, which you can see in black. Their price in red. Here's an Explorer 2. This isn't mine. This is a V serial from 2008, 2009. You can see the engraved rehaut. This would have the 3186 movement. Can't remember if it had box or papers or not. I think it did. And these are some of the Rolex watches that they had. And we'll just zoom in on a few. You can check the price. That's a pretty expensive 5-digit Coke. There's a 5-digit root beer on an oyster bracelet. I always like the Jubilee bracelets, but that's a pretty good looking watch nonetheless. There's a Kermit. And I think this is, well, you can see the engraved rehaut, so a later one. Quite a price on it. And a very expensive looking pre-owned all black. Now, keep in mind, you can get one for thousands cheaper in Nakano, and it's new, brand new. That was a pre-owned piece. That Batman, check out the price on that. That's outrageously expensive. You can get it for thousands cheaper in Nakano. Okay, we'll play a game. Spot the vintage piece. You got 2 seconds. Right there in the corner. Look at that. That's a red sub. That would be a 1680, I want to say. The first couple years they made the 1680 with the red lettering. Right next to it, pretty expensive 14060. That would be, yep, relatives. They look quite different. That matte dial on the red sub. Black dialed Explorer 2. And this is a later one as well. You see the engraved rehaut. All right, guys, so Alex Watch Shop behind me. They're always kind of funny about pictures and filming in there. I didn't even ask, but nothing has changed. They have an old vintage gilt dial Air King and an old Seamaster 300. That's not for sale. They got a bunch of Seiko 5 speed timers, not for sale. That just must be that guy's private collection. And yeah, some really small size Pateks and real small vintage grandpa type Rolexes. I think the only thing I would wear in there, aside from that Air King and that Speedmaster 300, would be they had an Ingenieur, but it's huge, IWC Ingenieur. I don't even know if it was for sale. I didn't see a price on it. And for $1,000, you can get an old Pulsar watch calculator. Weird prices. I don't think they make their money from selling watches. They had a timographer going. I think they make all their money from services. And I got one of my watches serviced there. One of my grandfather's watches. But anyway, always got to stop by Alex in Fukuoka. It's an interesting store. All right, so a ceramic Pepsi in the window. This was one of 3 they had. And here are the other 2. Now, very interesting. Look at the bezel inserts. This is a Mark I with the purple. And this is a Mark II or III with the corrected blue. Look at the price difference. The one on the right is cheaper. The purple is not desirable here. So rich, but he needs to come here to get his ceramic Pepsi. You can see a pre-ceramic GMT right next to it. Quite a different aesthetic. That's a Swiss-only dial, so 97, 98, or early 99. That's a GMT, not a GMT Master 2 like this. Ron the Shrink nailed it. That all black really allows you to appreciate that red GMT hand. From the left, that's a pre-ceramic date sub, a black deep sea, and a Yacht Master with a platinum dial. The two prices are with and without tax. An underappreciated BL&R, certainly appreciated, just not compared to the two next to it. All of these pieces were with box and papers. And a turnograph for that dumbass that is apparently buying up all of them. You missed one. He might have the last laugh. All right, a no date sub right there, and to the right, a pre-ceramic date sub. And a trio of ceramic subs. All right, while we look at these subs, let's talk about bluesies. Now, the Submariner bluesies that turn purple, some people think that's desirable. Not me, all right, but some people in the States apparently think that's a cool thing. Well, let me tell you, if you come to Japan, the cheapest ones you can find are the ones that are turning blue, like that one on the left. All right, those are the cheapest ones on Rakuten. So if you have a penchant for purple bluesies, they're the dregs here in Japan. And I'm not a fan of the aesthetic. You know, I don't want a purple watch unless I want a purple watch. All right, and we'll close out this shop with 3 Pateks. Now that Patek in the middle was quite big. The others were like 36, 37 millimeters, I want to say. You know, they look like women's watches compared to that one in the middle, but it was that one in the middle that was so gigantic. Get out the way. Wow, guys, this place is gone. Look, they're reforming it, or maybe another shop is coming. But well, we can't even get a good focus on here. But this used to be a watch shop. Yeah, quite a few things have changed. I mean, places have opened up. Places have combined. This place right here, that's new. The place behind me is gone. I just hit a new place over there, and Quark has changed locations. I mean, it's really surprising. Things have really changed a lot in just like the year that I haven't been here in Fukuoka, to Fukuoka. Anyway, let's check out some ADs. This shop had a perfect 3-watch meal deal collection, and yeah, come in, buy all these pieces, and you're good to go. Just retire from watches. You got your date just for business occasions, weddings, funerals, fancy things, suits. You got your casual watch, your weekend watch, when you can forget about the date and just enjoy. Perfect for picnics, days on the beach, hiking, climbing Mount Everest. And then you've got your travel watch, the big brother to the weekend watch, for jaunts off to Pattaya, where you can make a series of life-altering bad decisions. And you can do it in style with this black dial. Here's a GMT Master 2 pre-ceramic with a stick dial. Box, papers, the price in red without tax, the price in black with tax. Here's another all-black GMT. Now this is the Roman numeral shitter, unlike the stick dial. Wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot pole. Ah, actually it's a GMT, not a Master 2. Okay, we'll let it slide. Seriously though, that's a pretty decent price. Guarantee comes with it. No box, but you could probably source a box. If that's an unpolished piece, you got a winner there.
I gotta tell you the truth, Clive. I don't fucking want a 36 mil Explorer 1. It does nothing for me. It bores the fucking shit out of me. Why don't you just fuck off? You're a lousy fucking piece of shit.
Okay, back to the stick dial GMT. a 40mm Explorer 2 with solid end links, a Swiss-made dial, and a no-holes case. So this would be late 2002 to 2006. This shop has a great selection of pieces in that they're all box and papers. Well, most of them. That's pretty nice to see. And if it's not a full set, it's usually just the box that's missing, which is pretty easy to rectify. And some Grand Seikos, which on the pre-owned market operate like most used pieces. Look, you can see the retail price, which is up there, and the price they're selling it for, which is lower. That's why we like our Rolexes. Alright guys, it's about 1:30, so I think I need to get some lunch. Here's a temple, and then right next to it there's this alleyway, and there's an Indian restaurant I used to go to often when I lived here in Japan. Straight ahead is Tenjin, and this right here is a cross. It's pretty easy to find if you ever want to go. Alright guys, so Siraj right behind me, and when I was a single man living here in Fukuoka, I took many women here for a lunch date or two. And even a ladyboy, a Filipino ladyboy, that's right. I was sitting across from the ladyboy in there, and it clicked. I've got a ladyboy in front of me. And it was confirmed when she slid out of her seat and into the booth right next to me and grabbed my nuts. And I'm not talking about the otsumami I was drinking with my beer. Girls don't usually do that. Alright guys, well that was awesome. I think we're done with the pre-owned stuff. Chewing the aniseed stuff that you get after an Indian meal. Just one AD, and that's at Hakata Station, so I'm going to walk to Hakata Station. Check out that one AD. That's a different video. That way, through Nakasu, on to Hakata Station, which is the hub. That's where you'll come if you come by train from, say, Tokyo or Osaka or something like that. So, all right, I just remembered there's one more shop with pre-owned watches. It's in the Nakasu Shotengai. You enter right behind me, and it's kind of that way. We'll check it out. You're on the left. That's where I used to get my hair cut. Hey guys, it's closed. Alright, so this sign reads that February 29th was this shop's last day. It's done. Well, there you go. The pre-owned watches of Fukuoka City. Let me know what you liked. For me, I think it was the D-Serial GMT Master 2 with the stick dial. The D-Serials come from 2005 or 2006, and the stick dials are kind of hard to find, right? I mean, and that wasn't that much more than a regular GMT. The question is a stick dial something you want? I mean, I've read on the Rolex forum that stick dials may be service dials, and if so, there's no game in that. I mean, if you can take any old GMT to RSC and replace the dial and get a stick dial, there's nothing special about that. But if they are unicorns and you find one for no rhyme or reason, then that makes it kind of special. But I don't think I'd ever pay more for the lack of Roman numerals in favor of the stick dials. But, you know, some people do. Take care. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
간대 걸어. 이거 하나 더 걸어.